Brothers and sisters, this is Holy Toon. We're back with another Bible study. This one's live because I was cutting close to the time when it was due. Shot a few videos. I'm running out of memory on my camera. So I just figured I'd do it live because I wasn't going to have enough time to upload, and I may or may not have had enough storage capacity to pre-shoot a live. So we're doing this one live stream. The Jelous King. If you haven't got a chance to check out the last Bible study, make sure you get up to date with what's happening. We're going to continue where we left off at. Give me a second to get my pointer device. Should probably get my goggles too, right? My bifocals. That's how you know I was cutting it close, because I wasn't even prepared. All right, guys. The Jelous King, based on book 1, Samuel, chapter 18 through 19. When the army returns, Saul's general, Abner, takes David to see the king. You saved Israel, David. From now on, you will live in the palace. Prince Jonathan will take you back with him. Jonathan has just returned from the palace. He immediately recognizes a kindred spirit in David. David, I'm proud to be the friend of the bravest man in Israel. I want to give you my robe and armor as a sign that I will be loyal to you forever. Thank you, Jonathan. God is my witness that I will be your friend until death. Now, if you remember, David is the David who battled Goliath. That's why he said, you're one of the bravest men that he knows in Israel. David battled Goliath and beat him with a rock and a slingshot. So everybody admires David, hence why he's being well respected amongst the masses. For the rest of the military campaign, Saul gives David lots of responsibilities. David excels at everything he is asked to do, and Saul promotes him to a high-ranking officer. David's reputation spreads, so by the time the army returns home, he is a hero. Remember, David didn't back down. David felt that he could do anything with God's help. So he was a believer. Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000s. Triumphantly, King Saul and his victorious soldiers parade through the streets. The women rush out of the cities to greet them and sing their praises. You had a bunch of women everywhere praising them. You have people in the balconies, people in the windows, and David is on a chariot behind Saul. The people's praise of David turns Saul's appreciation to rage. He thinks of what the prophet Samuel told him. The Lord will take your kingdom from you. So Saul is beginning to get jealous because they're starting to praise David. And remember, he's the king. Saul's the king. And previously, Samuel told him a prophecy. So he's believing that everything is coming together. What the prophecy said, the prophecy was basically, the Lord will take your kingdom from you. So he's starting to let the enemy attack his mind. The enemy will attack you in your mind. The enemy being Satan. The people know David is the greater warrior than I am. Maybe he's the one who will take my kingdom from me. You see? That night, Saul cannot sleep. My soldiers already love him, and now my people love him. Look at that. He's losing sleep over it. That's not good. One day, while David plays the harp to soothe Saul's spirit, David, he's the hero now, but he can't take my kingdom from me if he's dead. Look at that. That's what he's thinking. Now remember, David was the one that was good at playing music, and David was called to his kingdom. Without music, Saul was like almost like an insomniac. In a few passages ago, they showed him with big eyeballs. He was irritated. He looked wide awake, but then once he heard David's music, he was soothed. Hence why he had him as his sidekick. In a burst of rage, Saul grabs a spear. Thunk. He throws the spear at David. Check it out. It pokes David. It pokes his garment and gets stuck up against the wall. He says, I missed. And that's in his thoughts. I missed. I'm sorry, David. I don't know what came over me. It must be this evil spirit that torments me. See, the evil spirit. Now, one thing that I've learned is that Satan or the evil spirits will attack you through your thoughts. Through your thoughts. They will get you where you're most vulnerable. And they will get you with jealousy, with anger, with rage, with lust, with envy, with all of those type of deadly sins. It must have been an accident. Why would he have promoted me only to kill me? So that's David's thoughts. David's thinking like, hold on. See, there's a thought bubble. The thought bubble is what they're thinking. He's like, why would he promote me to then try to kill me? It must have been an accident. But Saul's jealousy continues to grow because he knows David has the Lord's favor. Remember, David at this particular time of the Bible is one of the anointed ones. He's one of the ones that's favored by God. Every so couple stories, you'll get that person that's favored by God. So Saul's getting really jealous. Not only does the Lord favor David, you see, so does Saul's daughter. Is that Michal? I believe her name is Michal. It wouldn't be Michael. It ain't A-E-L. It's Michal. Or it could be Michelle, spelled differently. Let's just call her Michelle because that sounds more feminine. That gives me an idea. Look at, so his daughter even likes, the king's daughter likes David too. David, it seems my daughter is in love with you. And who can blame her? You are the most popular man in the kingdom. There's not many fathers that give up their daughters like that. At least not in today's time. But since you are a poor commoner, you cannot afford the customary bride price for a king's daughter. So I will waive that fee. However, to prove your valor, you must kill 100 Philistines. Thank you, my king. I am highly honored. Yo, so he's straight up about to trade his daughter up. He's going to give his daughter to him. So back then, there was a customary bride price that you had to pay for a king's daughter. That's amazing. So love, it wasn't even nothing about love. At that time, it was like arrangements and setups. Like I set you up with my daughter, or at this particular time, a bride fee. So you had to pay the fee. So I guess any man who had that fee could have been with his daughter and he would have gave her up as long as he got the money. So basically he was essentially pimping out his daughter. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to even think of. You may be able to beat one giant Philistine, but 100 of them should be able to kill you. So he's trying to set him up. He's trying to set him up for failure. Remember, because he tried to throw the arrow at him. 1 month later, well, did you kill 100 Philistines? No, look at him. He's all bloody. He's all bloody and he's limping. I killed 200. Yo, he killed 200 giants. Yo, I gotta look. Yo, we gotta see the look on his face. Do they have a close up of this man's face? After David and Michelle's wedding, Saul turns to his son, to his faithful son. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I know he's your friend, but David has become a threat to the kingdom. So Saul's son is Jonathan, and that's Michelle's brother, is Jonathan. He has become a threat to the kingdom. He wants to take the crown from me. Will you help me kill him? First of all, he never said he wanted to take the crown from you. That's crazy. He's just making that up. What jealousy will do, jealousy, and between jealousy and the enemy attacking his mind, he's making up these false fabricated lies. It's like a false reality in his head. How can you say that? He's never done anything to wrong you. And with his battles, he's increased your honor and power. So his own son is saying, like, how can you say that, Dad? You're right, Jonathan. I promise not to harm David. Even my own son loves David more than me. He's straight up mad, bro. Like he's mad at everybody. He's like, my daughter loves him, my son loves him, everybody in the town loves him. Oh man, I gotta get rid of him. Feeling betrayed by his own family, Saul resorts to conspiracy. Well, wait, wait until everyone is asleep. Then go to David's house and tell him I need to see him. When he gets here, we can kill him with no witnesses. Oh no, I must tell Michelle. What? Michelle, why are you packing up my clothes? My father plans to kill you. Oh, over here, you see? She or he or whatever this person here witnessed that conversation. So they told Michelle, Michelle, why are you packing up my clothes? My father plans to kill you tonight. You must run for your life. I'll delay his guards while you make your escape. So she's looking out for her husband. She's looking out for David. You see David over here with a rope. You see his silhouette. Silhouette is his black shadow. The sun is shining, casting a shadow. We only see the dark side, and he's climbing down the rope. Michelle lets David out a back window, then prepares the next part of her plan. Wow, that's incredible. Let us in. King Saul needs to see David on a matter of high importance. As you can see, he's sick in bed. I think it's contagious. I let you in, but then you'd be ceremonially unclean for being near a sick person. I'm sorry. So before we move forward, I'm going to tell you something that I read. I believe was it the beginning of Leviticus or the end of Exodus? I think it was the beginning of Leviticus when there was a plague and somebody would be sick. They would have to be quarantined for several days, and they would also check if their house was sick, basically if the sickness was in the house and so on. It reminded me of that because when he said, or she said, you would be ceremonially unclean. You would have to make sure before you were around any other people, which sounds similar to modern times today, right? Like they would quarantine you, or they did it even then. Michelle's bold lie confuses the guards, who brings this new development to Saul. At first, he seems to take the news calmly. Oh, I didn't realize he was sick. Well, we'll wait until he's healthy before we kill him. Oh my gosh, he's destined to try to kill him. You fools, bring him here. If you have to carry him to his bed, to do it. Oh my gosh, if you have to carry him in his bed, I'm sorry. So he said, bring him. Even if you got to carry him in his bed, we'll kill him in his bed. But when the men barge into David's room, they find only a statue with a goat hair wig in his bed. Look at it. So there's a statue. So the whole time it was a front, and they didn't look under it. How could my own daughter lie to me? I'm sorry. How could my own daughter lie to me to protect my enemy? How is he your enemy? Wasn't he like one of your best men? David was one of the King Saul's best men. Now he's his enemy because in his head he's that David wants to take his place. He's not your enemy, father. I will think of a suitable punishment for you. So he's about to punish his daughter too. A prince of a friend, based on book 1, Samuel, chapter 19, verse 18 through 20 and 42. Meanwhile, David escapes to Ramah, where he takes refuge with Samuel and the prophet who had anointed both him and Saul. He's gone mad, Samuel. He has turned his back on the Lord. Learn from his mistakes, David. May the Lord protect me from sinning on purpose. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart always be pleasing to the Lord, my rock and redeemer. 3 times Saul sends men to Ramah to capture David, but every time the Holy Spirit protects David. Angry beyond reason, Saul goes himself, but the Spirit of God keeps him from harming David too. After this, David seeks out his friend, Prince Jonathan. Remember, Prince Jonathan is Saul's son, which is his wife's brother. That's his brother-in-law. Basically, that's his wife's brother. That's Michelle's brother, Jonathan. Meet me at the practice field. He left a note. The two friends have a secret reunion. I can't go on hiding from your father like this. If your family wants me dead, why don't you just kill me now, where I stand? Do it as a friend and put me out of my misery. No, David, I promise. I talked to my father. I talked him out of killing you. He would have told me if he still thought you were a threat. He tells me everything. But David is not convinced. I'm sorry, Jonathan. He has stopped confiding in you because you are my friend. But I need to know if there's any chance he'll leave me alone. I promise. Friends to death. You are sworn. You are my sworn brother. Whatever you ask, I will do. But please remember me when you are king of all Israel. Together, the two hatch a plan. David will hide in the field during the royal festival dinner. If King Saul doesn't mind that David is absent, it's because he's not worried about David. But if he becomes angry, Jonathan will know that it's because he still seeks David's death. Then he will go back to the field and use a code to let David know the answer. So his own son, Jonathan, is willing to help David. See, they said, I promise, friends till death. So that's a good friend that he trying to ride out for him, you know? And remember, Samuel was the one that anointed them. And even Samuel says he's turned his back on the Lord. Remember, Saul is letting all of the enemy's tactics attack him mentally. On the second day of the king, remember, thou shalt not kill. And that's one of the commandments that's on the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark, it says, thou shalt not kill. And what he wants to do, he wants to kill David. On the second day of the king's feast, Saul's temper explodes when Jonathan tells him of David's absence. You see, he still wants to get him. You son of a stubborn concubine. Don't you know that as long as David lives, you will never be king? Bring him here immediately. He must die, you see? Wow. Why should he be killed? What has he done but serve you well in battle? My own son is a traitor. I'll kill you too. I'm ashamed to call you father. Wow, he about to kill his own son, bro. Saul doesn't kill his son, but the next morning, Jonathan goes out into the fields and gives David the signal. Go get my arrows. I overshot the target, so you'll have to run far away to find them. Thank you, Jonathan. I will flee from Saul and let the Lord tell me when I can come back. Wow. Saul was ready to kill his son. That's crazy, right? That's incredible. All because he's getting paranoid that he thinks David wants his place, which David doesn't even. He's just jealous because everybody likes him, including his own son, his own daughter. And he's supposed to be the king, right? So he feels like he should get all of the glory. Psalm chapter 22, verse 1 through 2, and verse 19 through 21. David wrote the following words to God while he was going through very hard times in his life. This psalm can read as a prayer. All right, guys, we're going to read this together because I hear the book of Psalms is good. I haven't got there yet in the real Bible. I actually just got into Numbers. I finished Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and now I'm in Numbers. The Bible is written of 66 books, so I got a long way to go. Yeah, I got a long way to go, but I'm actually further here in this. But that's because, as you can see, it's just like little thought bubbles and whatnot. It's not like how it's actually written in the Bible. In the Bible, it's just top to bottom full of just words. But I always hear a very good thing about Psalms. So let's read this together. It says, this Psalm, which is written by David, and the crazy thing is that he wrote the following words to God while he was going through a very hard time in his life. So if any of you guys are going through very hard times in your lives, let's read this together. This psalm can be read as a prayer. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? So far from my cries of anguish. My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. This doesn't sound very encouraging. I cry out by day, but you do not answer by night. But I find no rest. But you, Lord, do not be far from me. You are my strength. That sounds good. Come quickly to help me. Deliver me from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dogs. Rescue me from the mouth of the lions. Save me from the horns of the wild oxen. That's interesting. So over here, I see a bunch of little, it looks like campfires. You see this gentleman, there's 4 gentlemen right here, and there's a bunch of campfires, and you can see the smoke going up. That's because I guess there's a bunch, this must be some sort of, mm, some sort of little committee of people just hanging out, camping. So that's him over there praying. This says that this could be said as a prayer. I don't know. I didn't feel really enthusiastic about the beginning. The beginning sounded like complaints, but the second half sounded like appreciation or like asking for help. Let me read it one more time. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me? So far from my cries of anguish. My God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer. By night, I find no rest. But you, Lord, do not be far from me. You are my strength. Come quickly to help me. Deliver me from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dogs. Rescue me from the mouth of the lions. Save me from the horns of the wild oxen. So it's a cross between pointing out what he's going through and then asking for help. Oh my gosh, there's another one. Psalm chapter 22, verse 25 to 31. These words written by David can be used for praise. All right, we have another one, guys. Here's another psalm written by David. From you comes the theme of my praise in the great assembly. Before those who fear you, I will fulfill my vows. The poor will eat and be satisfied. Those who seek the Lord will praise him. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will bow down before him. For dominion belongs to the Lord, and he rules over the nations. All the rich of the earth will feast and worship. All who go down to the dust will kneel before him. Those who cannot keep themselves alive, posterity will serve him. Future generations will be told about the Lord. They will proclaim his righteousness, declaring to a people yet unborn, he has done it. That one was a bit more enthusiastic. Like, I felt better about that one than this one. I felt like this one was kind of a little bit of complaints, questioning. This is more like statements. The Outlaws of Judah, based on book 1 Samuel 21 through 24. Without even taking the time to pack provisions, David flees for Judah, his home country famished and tired. He stops for a rest at Nob. There, he seeks the help of Ahimelech. Ahimelech. It reminds me of Abimelech, but with an H. Ahimelech, the high priest. There's somebody in the Bible named Abimelech, if I'm correct. David, you look terrible. What are you doing here? What are you doing here this late at night and alone? David lies to protect the priest. Don't be alarmed. I'm on a secret mission for King Saul, but I need bread, food, anything. You have? All I have is the holy bread in the tabernacle. But if it's a matter of starving to death, I can let you have it. Also, I left in such a hurry that I forgot to bring a weapon. Do you have a sword or spear? We are priests. We don't fight or keep weapons. The only thing we do have is the sword of Goliath. We've kept it here as a trophy of your victory. Wow, that's crazy. Remember when he battled the giant and he picked up the sword, and that's the big sword from the giant that he battled. Once you were used to fight against the Lord, but now I will wield you in the Lord's service. Okay, so he's talking to the sword. He's telling the sword, once you were used to fight against the Lord, but now he's going to use him to fight on behalf of the Lord. So he got that big sword now. Unfortunately, one of Saul's spies see David leave the priests at Nob. He goes to report to his master. There goes those biblical snitches, right? People who they're like moles, like rats, always spying. David goes into hiding in Judah. Lord, you said I would be king. Now here I am, an outlaw, all alone in a cave. I trust you, but I don't see that I'm much of a king. A real king has an army, prophets, and priests. I only have a sword that's too big for me. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta find some humor in this. That's messed up. He said, I only have a sword. That's mad funny. He said, I only got a sword that's too big for me. But he still has faith. He says right here, I trust you. Right? I trust you. News of David's whereabouts spread. Quickly, 400 men, refugees, homeless, and his relatives join him in exile. King Saul has declared you an outlaw, but we want to fight for you. Then fight for me, you shall. We will protect the poor people of Judah in the name of the Lord. And so, out of rejects and relatives, David gets his first army. You see, remember that he was praying to God and he said, you said I'm going to be a king. But a king, a real king, has an army, prophets, and priests. He only has the big sword. But guess what? What happens on the next slide? God blesses him with an army. That's all of the men, 400 plus men, refugees and homeless, and his relatives join him in exile because they want to help him. So eventually, God always comes through with his promises, which is crazy to even fathom. Among his relatives, 3 of David's nephews will become indispensable to him. Joab will be David's commander. Abishai will grow into a mighty warrior and bodyguard. And Ashael, fast as a gazelle, will chase down David's enemies. Wow. So he literally, the prophecy is coming together. One day, I am Gad, one of King Saul's prophets, but the Lord has told me that you are his anointed king. So I am here to serve you. And as my first duty, I must warn you to move your camp into the forest of Hereth. And so David gets his first prophet. You see? So literally everything that he was praying for, you see him up here that he's on his knees and he's like, Lord, you said I will be king. But now I'm an outlaw, all alone in a cave. But I trust you. But I don't see that I'm much of a king. A real king has an army, prophets, and priests. So far, he got the army. He got his first prophet. So let's see if the priest comes somewhere down the line. Meanwhile, Saul has summoned Ahimelech and all the priests of Nob. He accuses them of treason for helping David. How is it treason to help one of your most loyal soldiers? He's your son-in-law. Of course I helped him. You helped my enemy, and for this you will die. Dang, talking about power trip. He's insane. In his insane, they straight up said what I just said. In his insane desire for revenge, Saul orders the death of not only the priests of Nob, but every man, woman, and child in their city. Only one man escapes, Abithar, the son of Ahimelech, the high priest. So he killed everybody in the town. Kids and everything. It says it right here. But he said, he orders the death of every man, woman, and child in their city. That's how insane this king has gotten. He even killed the children, but only one person escaped, which is what? A high priest, or the son of the high priest, which he should have been trained by his father. He carries the tragic news to David. I am the only priest left, but I saved the high priest's ephod and brought it with me. God, forgive me. I am partly to blame. I asked for your help, and your father gave it. Stay with me. For now, Saul wants your life as well as mine. Saul has broken his faith with the Lord. I will serve you. Wow, look at that. So that's the last piece of the prophet that came to place. That's crazy, right? Like in the beginning, he was like, I don't have a army, I don't have a prophet, and I don't have a priest. And within these 2 pages, he got the army, the prophet, and the priest, all because the king's jealous. That's crazy. And so David gets his first priest. God has now given him a full entourage of a king. You see? So he finally got the full entourage of a king. So now he can live up to his Whoa, look how many people are here, yo. He squad deep. He got a big squad. Like, he literally got his own like kingdom. Gad informs David that the Philistines have attacked the poor town of Kiliah and Abithar, relays God's command to attack and rescue his fellow Judeans. David's men, however, are less than confident. We have no training. We can't fight against the Philistine army. Actually, I'm in the middle of a fast. He making This dude making excuses. This dude said, actually, I'm in the middle of a fast. It's true, uncle. It's one thing to defend you against Saul, but the Philistines are too strong for us. Men of Judah, our father prophesied, your hand shall wring your enemies' necks. Now you crouch in hiding like a young lion. But who will provoke? Who will dare you? Lions of Judah. God has delivered our enemy into our hands. Fight with me. Fight for your families. Fight for God. So that's David. David's over there giving him like a little motivational pep talk. Encouraged by David's words, his men shake off their fear and march to fight. They inflict heavy losses on the Philistines, taking their plunder and sharing it with the people of Kiliah. But while they are celebrating their first victory, David's prophets and priests bring him troubling news. David, God warned me that Saul is on his way here to capture you. Abiathar, or Abiathar, used the ephod to ask the Lord if the people of Kiliah will defend me or hand me over to Saul. Then the Lord says they will betray you too, Saul. Then let's go. So his own folks are going to betray him? Oh my gosh. Like, that's a rip-off army then. If they're going to betray him a page ago, they were with him. Now they're going to betray him? Even though he has just rescued their town, David is forced to flee from the fickle citizens of Kiliah and hide in nearby caves. However, 200 men are impressed by his bravery and join his army. He now has 600 soldiers. Okay. All right, so I guess his original squad didn't do him dirty, but now he got 600 soldiers. King Saul and his army arrived too late to capture David at Kiliah. As Saul hunts for David in the desert, he stops to rest in a cave, unaware that David and some of his men are hiding in the back of it. Why doesn't David kill him? This is it, Uncle David. The Lord promised you will be king, and now the Lord has delivered the old king, helpless, into your hands. Oh, wow. David looks down at the king and thinks of all the times Saul has tried to kill him. Now the jealous king is at his mercy, but David only bends down and carefully cuts off a piece of his royal robe. Check it out. He cuts off a piece of the robe. I understand he's your father-in-law. If you don't want to kill him, I'll do it for you. No, he was chosen by God to be our king. It's not for us to decide when he will die. You see, that's a noble man. That's noble. He has morals. David has morals because he had the perfect chance to kill him in his sleep. Over here, he's looking at him sleeping, and he could have killed him because he just went and just cut off a piece of his robe while he was sleeping. And his own homie, his own minion, his own man said, I understand he's your father-in-law. If you don't want to kill him, then I'll do it for you. He says, no. He was chosen by God to be our kings. It's not for us to decide. Excellent. I like that mindset. After a while, Saul leaves the cave, and David calls after him. My lord, the king. David, why do you keep hunting me? I mean you no harm. See this piece of cloth? I cut it from your robe. I could have killed you, but I didn't. Look at, oh, I understand. I understand. My father, if I have wronged God, let him judge me. But how have I wronged you? I am ashamed. You are better than I am, David. I will go and leave you alone. Saul leads his army away, but a short time later, David learns that Saul has forced Michelle, David's wife, to marry another man. This shows David that Saul has not forgave him. Words come, too, that after many years of serving the Lord, the prophet Samuel has died. Samuel has passed away, which was the one who anointed him. Samuel anointed Saul, and David. Samuel, the king, this dude that was jealous this whole stream so far, he made his daughter, which was Michelle, marry another man. So he's shady, bro. Like, there's a lot of shady characters in the Bible. And Saul just became one of them. A Fool and His Wife, based on book 1, Samuel chapter 25. David's army grows more capable and loyal by the day, but other practical matters get in the way. David, we're running low on supplies. Also, Nabal is in town for the sheep shearing festival. Nabal, we've been protecting his shepherds and flocks for months. Nabal is a wealthy man and a distant relative of David's. Oh, wow. So we just got introduced to a new character. Nabal or Nabal, Nabal. I'm going to say Nabal. Nabal is David's long lost relative. Long life and good health to you and everything you own. Our Lord David sends his compliments. You know that David has protected these lands, including your property. Since he returned to Judah, do you have any food you think you could spare for us, especially during this festive season? Fend for yourselves, you vagabonds, or I should say, you vagabonds. Rob the Philistines if you're so hungry. David might think he's the next king, but he's just another outlaw. Yo, his own cousin said that? Back in camp, David is not pleased to hear this development. That ungrateful wretch. He wouldn't even have those sheep if we hadn't kept the Philistines from carrying them off. Put on your swords. Wow, look at David. David got a full beard now. Remember David, like a few pages ago, was like a little boy? Two servants run to tell Nabal's wife, Abigail, what happened. David's men came asking for food, and our master sent them away with nothing but insults. David's men were very good to us, but our foolish Lord won't listen to us, and we're afraid of how David will respond. Quickly, follow me. 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep, 5 bushels of grain, 100 raisin chickens. Is that enough? Add 200 fig cakes. Damn, they getting the hookup, right? They getting the hookup. Look at all that. They got all that food. Meanwhile, not to mention the waste of effort protecting that fool's fortune, he has paid me back evil for good. With God as my witness, no one in his house will be alive tomorrow. Whoa, that sounds vengeful. That's the first time I've ever heard David sound so vengeful. David and his army set out just as Abigail arrives with her provisions. When Abigail sees David suddenly appear with fury in his eyes, she falls to her knees. My lord and future king, listen to me, please. Ignore the insults of my stupid husband, Nabal. Remember, Nabal is his cousin. Nabal is his long-lost relative. Of my stupid husband. His name means fool for a reason. Oh, so Nabal means fool. Means fool for a reason. Please, my master, don't sink to his level. Don't bloody your hands for the sake of revenge. Let the Lord judge Nabal for his wickedness. When you are king, you will not want your people to say you murdered one of your own subjects. David's anger has cooled during this faithful woman's brave speech. Praise the Lord for sending you. You saved both my honor and innocent lives. Thank you for this gift. Take your donkeys and go in peace. Wow, you see, he saved his honor and innocent lives because he was going to go there to kill. Remember I said he sounded a little angry? You don't sound that angry, but he was going to go there to kill. And God wouldn't have liked that. So that would have probably screwed his honor, and he would have probably got kicked out of the kingdom. Because remember, all the people who disobeyed in the Bible, they didn't go to the promised land. They ended up like just not getting permitted. God shunned them. Next morning, when Abigail tells Nabal about his narrow escape, he is struck dead with fright. Ah, look at him. He damn near has a heart attack. When David hears the news, he realizes how right Abigail had been. The Lord punished Nabal so that he would not have to fight a fellow Israelite. No, did he really have a heart attack? You know, now that Saul has given Michelle to another man in marriage, you could use an intelligent and resource women around here. Oh, snap. You're right. Abigail has proven her wisdom, and she believes in me. I want to be the honorable, God-fearing king she thinks I can be. I will ask her to be my wife. Yo, so his so this is crazy. This is like an episode of like Jerry Springer or Maury Povich. So so his long lost relative, this guy right here, which is Nabal, he was with Abigail. Abigail, on behalf of her whole town and Nabal, she begged to David not to kill Nabal, and she basically insulted her own husband behind his back. She said, "Let God deal with him." On the next scene, he does deal with him. It looks like he has a heart attack. He passes away. So now she's a widow. So his old wife, which was Saul's daughter, Saul, the king Saul, ended up forcing his daughter to marry someone else, even though she was already married to him. So he forced her to marry a whole other man. So now he says, you know what? I'm going to take my cousin or his relatives, long lost relative, this dude right here that had a heart attack. I'm going to take his wife, ask her to marry me because she showed good favor and good faith. And now this is crazy. It's like a whole love triangle. As David's new wife, Abigail continues to prove her wisdom and resourcefulness in helping David run his camp. Under her influence, his men begin to act less like a band of renegades and more like a king's army. So she actually strengthened them. David leads his men wisely and well for several years, but he is always under the shadow of Saul's jealousy. So Saul's still jealous. That's crazy. You would think that he would have got over it. For all of Saul's empty promises, he has never given up his hatred for David. In between fighting against the Philistines, he leads his army after David. While spying on their camp, David decides on a risky plan to end Saul's persecution once and for all. The Fall of Saul, based on Book 1, Chapter 26, 28, and 31. Hey, Abishai, you want to be a hero? In the dark of the night, David and his nephew sneak into the camp. They carefully pick their way through the sleeping soldiers. One wrong step and they could wake the whole army, an army that wants nothing more than to kill them. Wow, they're crazy, right? Stealthy, they crept up beside the sleeping king. God has put your enemy in our hands. With one blow, I can pin him to the ground. I promise I won't miss. No, the Lord anointed Saul king of Israel, and the Lord will decide when and how Saul is to die. Just hand me his spear and water jug. There you go. David showing his noble nature. He could have killed him again. And again, one of his homies was on go. He said straight up, he said, I can pin him. He said, just let me know and I won't miss, I promise. But he says, no, leave it up to God. The next morning, David calls down to Saul's camp. King Saul, do these look familiar? You took them while I slept? Again, you could have killed me and you did it? Oh, wow. I have been a fool. I'll never try to hurt you again. Uh-oh. Let's see how accurate that is, because so far, he just been lying every page. Look, they're leaving. You're safe. No, Saul made the same promise before, right? Right? That's the same thing I'm saying. I'll never be safe as long as the king lives. Then that sucks. But Saul's not safe either. His army is confronted by the unified Philistine forces. When Saul sees the powerful Philistine army, he is afraid. Frantically, he calls upon God for help. But because he killed God's priests and disobeyed God's commands, God would no longer speak to him. Terrified, he resorts to a dark power. Oh, snap. You see, because he disobeyed, he ended up, remember, he killed all the kids and all the women and the priests. So God no longer wants anything to do with him. That's crazy. What's even crazy is I think I put a little teeny rip on this page. That sucks. First rip throughout the whole book. Where can I find a woman who speaks with the spirits of the dead? I need some advice. Uh-oh. That's witchcraft, sorcery, Satanism. So now since God doesn't want to help him no more, now he's trying to speak to to like a witch or people who's like in sorcery. See right here, I just said it. There's a witch at Endor, and I didn't even know that. There's a witch at Endor, but we can't let the people see us breaking the law, so we'll have to go by night. That night, Saul and the two servants sneak across the hills to the village of Endor and knock on the door. I'll pay you well to call up the spirit of the one I name. Surely you know that King Saul has ordered all witches put to death. Are you trying to trap a poor old woman? I swear to the Lord that nothing will happen to you if you do what I ask. Very well. What spirit can I call up to soothe your troubled soul? Call up the spirit of the prophet Samuel. Oh, snap. The woman calls for the spirit of Samuel for a moment. All is still. Then a human shape slowly appears in the smoke. Yo, that's crazy. Remember Samuel? Samuel was the one that anointed them, and he recently passed away. Oh, wow. Suddenly, the witch cries out in terror. Oh, no, it really is Samuel. You must be King Saul. Please don't kill me. Why have you roused me? The Philistines are attacking me. God has rejected me. I need you to tell me what to do. If the Lord wouldn't help you, what makes you think I will? You rejected the Lord's commands, so now he has rejected you. David will be the next king. Tomorrow your army will be defeated, and you and your sons will be dead. Whoa. In despair and weakness, Saul falls flat on the ground, unable to get up. Wow. Please don't hurt me for doing what you ask. I'm sorry that Samuel had such bad news for you. Please just take this food and leave me in peace. Saul doesn't want any food, but the witch and his guards encourage him to eat. After he has some time to regain strength, he returns to his camp. So he's sick to his stomach. That's why they said, like, here, take some food, and he don't want to eat because he knows tomorrow will be his last day on earth. The next morning, the Philistines attack under a weak and frightened king. Israel retreats in panic. The enemy is everywhere. We can't stop them. My sons, where are they? Dead, sir. Dead? And I am badly wounded. Oh, wow. Draw your sword and kill me. I would rather die by your hand than be captured by the Philistines. Kill my king. I can't. I can't. So Saul draws his own sword and falls onto it, killing himself. Samuel's prophecy is fulfilled. The reign of King Saul comes to a tragic end. He committed suicide. Yo, he committed suicide, bro. Like, that's how scary that he was. He asked one of his own men to kill him, but he was faithful. He said, I can't kill you. So he puts a sword out and falls on it and kills himself, bro. And the prophecy and the prophecy came to life. All that because he was jealous, huh? All that because he was jealous. Like, he should have just been chilling. Just rewards based on book 2, Samuel chapter 1, verse 1 through 2 and 7. The books of 2nd Samuel and 1 Chronicles record the same period of history, the reign of David, Israel's greatest king. To Samuel, 2 Samuel is the original story as written down by the prophets, while 1 Chronicles fills in the gaps from the perspective of the priests. Still in exile, David always thinks about Saul and Jonathan. He wonders how their battle with the Philistines turned out. A thief who had looted the battlefield tries to win David's favor. Who are you? And what brings you here? I come from the battle between the Philistines and Israel. I have great news. Your old enemy, King Saul, is dead, and so is Prince Jonathan. Remember, Prince Jonathan was his friend. That was King Saul's. Even though King Saul wanted to kill David, King Saul's son, which was the prince, was cool with David. They said they were going to be best friends for life. That's crazy. So he just found out for the first time that his friend passed. How do you know this? What? How do you know this? I'm sorry. I don't know how Jonathan died, but I found the king on the battlefield. He was injured and asked me to kill him. I did, and here are his crown and armband to prove it. No, you didn't kill him. Remember that he fell on his sword? He said, what? Even if the king asked you to kill him, you had no right to take the life of the man God chose to be the king of Israel. For this crime, you will pay with your own life. Yo, you're about to kill him. That's what he get for lying, bro. So the man who lied to get a reward received a different reward, the one he deserved. Remember, sinning is punishable by death. That's crazy. Even though Saul had treated him unfairly, David mourns the death of his king and his best friend. In his grief, David writes a lament, a mournful song praising Saul and Jonathan. He teaches it to all his followers and they sing it together. It's called the Song of Baal. The Baal. The glory of Israel lies slain in the hills. Do not spread this evil news. The Baal of Jonathan did not turn back. Saul and Jonathan loved in life together in their death. This is a horrible song. It's a horrible song. I'm waiting for it to rhyme. It didn't really rhyme. Oh boy. How the mighty have fallen. I'm going to just read it because it doesn't sound like a song. Do not give our enemies a reason to rejoice. The sword of Saul did not retreat. They were faster than eagles and stronger than lions. Somebody needs to give King David, now he's a king, song classes because he has no rhyming going on there. I agree because Jonathan, my brother, is dead, which is his brother-in-law, well, was because his wife, his wife was forced to marry someone else, but it still was his friend. You know, they say your brother friend's your brother. How the mighty have fallen. We weep because Saul, our father, is dead. Israel's hero lies slain in the hills. That's crazy, right? Eventually, David thinks of his own future. Now that Saul is dead, David knows that he can return from exile. But before he makes any plans, he prays to God. Lord, shall I return now to my own people in Judah? God tells David to go home. And when he does, the people of Judah welcome their hero and make him king of their tribe. God bless King David. Long live the king. So he's getting blessed, you see? He's putting some drops on his head. I don't know if that's honey. For his first act as king, David commends the men from Jabesh Gilead who had snuck past the Philistines to make sure that Saul and Jonathan received an honorable burial. He promises that he and God will show them favor for their bravery. Royal rivals, based on 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 8 through 3 and 21. Now that King Saul is dead, David is made. I'm sorry. I just was reading this real quick. Now that King Saul is dead, David is made king of his own tribe of Judah. But trouble brews across the Jordan River. Saul's most powerful general, Abner, declares that Saul's youngest son, Ishbosheth, is king over all the other tribes of Israel. But the crafty general knows that, The crafty general knows that Ishbosheth is so weak that Abner himself will always be the real power behind the throne. But with the people support me, but will the people support me, Abner? David has many loyal followers. That's why we must wipe him out right now. If we wait, he will be strong enough to take your kingdom from you. Without wasting any time, Abner marshals what is left of Saul's army and rides against Joab and David's forces. In turn, Joab rallies David's men and meets Abner's army at the pool of Gibeon. For a moment, the two armies face each other, uncertain what to do against their own countrymen. The first blow in this battle will mark the beginning of a civil war. Oh, snap. You see everybody right here? That's crazy. So much war. Talking about World War I, World War II. There have been wars. We're like on World War 75 because there's been wars. Like if you read the Bible, there's been so many wars. When he force, when he sees David's forces, Abner knows it will be a tough fight. So he takes a cue from the old enemy, Goliath, and challenges Joab to select champions for combat. Come, Joab. We both want to spare our men's lives. After all, we're all sons of Jacob, related by blood and by God. You choose 12 men, and I'll choose 12 men. Let them fight, and the victor can claim the victory. That sucks. How kings and like people in power do that. Like they pick people to do the fighting for them, and they just sit back and watch. That's still done to this modern day. The 24 champions fight, but they are so evenly matched that they kill each other to a man. In the fierce battle that follows, Abner's army is pushed back. See them all fighting? Run! There's people lying everywhere, deceased. Joab grabs his brother Ashael. Quickly, if we can kill Abner, all resistance to David will disappear. David's nephew focuses his pursuit on Abner. Go back, Ashael. I know your brother Joab. I don't want to have to kill you. No, I will not let you get away. Knowing he can't outrun the younger man, Abner stops suddenly and plants his spear in the ground. Ashael is running so quickly that he can't stop in time and is killed. Yo, what's up with people like getting stabbed in the stomach? Remember the King Saul did that to himself with his sword? The battle is a victory for David's men. They kill 360 of Abner's forces and lose only 20 soldiers themselves. Only, right? Only 20 lives. Like, that sucks. Only. That's a lot of people, man. One life is enough. 20? Sheesh. Including Ashael. But when Joab learns of his brother's death, he is filled with grief and he needs revenge. Oh my gosh. Revenge. With each battle, David grows stronger. Ishbosheth grows more fearful by the day. Not only does he fear David, but he also starts to distrust Abner's motives. One day he accuses Abner. How dare you question me? Just for that, I will transfer my allegiance to David. By losing me, you lost your kingdom. You just lost your kingdom. Wow. Abner had realized that David would eventually defeat Ishbosheth. He wanted to switch his loyalties. Anyway, and he gives him, oh, I'm sorry. He wanted to switch his loyalties anyway, and this gives him just the excuse. Abner carries out his threat and offers to help David add the rest of Israel to his kingdom. I've spoken with the other tribes. They will bow to you if I say the word. David replies with an invitation to a feast. Thank you for your kindness. I'll join forces with you, my lord. You will reign over Israel. David looks super old here too. Crazy. David got a full-blown beard. The next one is Assassinations, but we're not going to read that. We're going to leave it off here. We've been streaming for about an hour. I'm going to say thank you guys. Thank you again. I'm sorry. I know these are supposed to be pre-recorded, but as I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, I was shooting other videos today. I was kind of preoccupied. I literally just edited one, uploaded it to the TikTok. And then I didn't have enough memory in my camera device. So I could have tried to pre-record it, but I was really cutting it too close. I've been able to upload it in time. Uploading also takes time. And it might have just abruptly stopped because I don't have enough storage. I have to clean out my device. I got a bunch of footage that I got to edit and get rid of. So I did a live stream. I'm sorry about the last minute change, but hopefully you guys found some knowledge. I know this is getting crazy. This book is getting crazy. We're on page 328. We're almost halfway through. Yeah, we're almost halfway through, guys. So thank you all for watching. God bless. Stay positive, stay healthy, pray up. Remember, Jesus loves you. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.